November the 4th, 9 p.m. here in the DMV. I'm Sam Giacinto.
And 6 p.m. here in Los Angeles, I'm Jack Armstrong. Welcome to Tech Talk Live.
And welcome to the show. We have some very special guests tonight to talk to. Hope you enjoy the conversation.
Absolutely. We have Chris Lipper and James Prokop. Chris Lipper is an inventor, author, small business coach, and consultant, and founder of On the Bus, an international virtual conference. He's using fascinating virtual tech to bring together his community. And James is a web developer and designer from Vogue Website Design. He is a digital marketing specialist using modern technology to keep his clients ahead of their competitors. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So, Chris, you host a fascinating event where you do these on the bus virtual conferences where you have a metaverse platform that you've built. It's super exciting. How did you come up with the concept of this?
So it kind of just evolved and kind of just happened. So I coach small business owners, and we do it in a unique way. We do it via mastermind groups as opposed to one-to-one coaching. And I was meeting with a member, and he said, "Trade shows suck. I'm never doing another one." And I looked him in the eye and I said, "Trade shows don't suck. You suck at doing them, and I'll prove it to you. We're going to have a trade show, and we're going to use our sales training to teach you guys how to get more out of trade shows." And that was in 2014, and that was 28 shows ago. So I was living in Jersey at the time. This is pre-pandemic. We had about 8 shows live, and then the pandemic went down in 2020. I moved to Woodstock, New York, and through some people in my life, we were talking, and we canceled our June show for the pandemic. But I wanted to have the December show, and we figured, all right, let's try to do this virtually. And I was dating someone. She was great at Zoom. She worked at a college, and we figured out how to stack 40 breakout rooms and manipulate the backgrounds where they could look like booths. And if you had a good imagination, it felt like you were at a trade show. You weren't bumping into people in the hallway. That was missing. And there were some other things missing. But we did a show in December of 2020, and then we did a 2-day show in March of 21. And we had, 300-400 people come from all around the world. And Zoom called us up that Monday and said, "What are you guys doing, and how are you doing it?" And wow. I told them, and I said, "You guys should you speak. Let us thank you for this platform during the pandemic. We're all using it now." And they said, "No, thank you." And I was like, "What? Wait, what? Really?" And yeah, they didn't want to do it, and I couldn't talk them into it. So we found another platform, and we started trying different things in the metaverse. We had 4 parameters basically that we needed: video, security, some other things. And we've tried 3 different platforms. We're using one now pretty consistently. You basically rent a room and then build it, right? And but we had our own city for a while called Lipperville. My email was themayoroflipperville.com, and I love that. We broke the metaverse. We had too many people come all at once. It couldn't handle it. The browsers can only handle so many assets and traffic at a time. So we figured out that about 300 people on the floor at a time, not that we've ever reached that many, because it spreads out pretty well, is a good number. And I can show it to you if you want to see it, but maybe we'll wait till later. It's up to you.
Yeah, bring it up. We can pull it up when we talk about it.
Sure.
Yeah, fascinating. So yeah, it allows you to have like a virtual booth in the metaverse.
I'll show you. So you're an avatar. Can you see this?
Yeah.
All right. So you're an avatar, and I should have put the screen on. There's a screen next to the person, so you can see them. And this is what the floor looks like. So you come in, and so here's James's booth. So James is a great booth, and he would stand outside the blue line and greet people and say, "Hey, welcome to the show. Who are you hoping to meet?" And if they say, "Well, I'm looking for a website," he'd say, "Great, come on in, talk to me inside my booth," and walk in behind the blue lines and have a private conversation. And you can see some of the booths, we have video. So we don't allow everyone to have video because what we're really selling is bandwidth, right? We only can have so much stuff going on depending on the traffic. But I mean, we have podcasts coming off the floor. We have, here's another booth with video. But yeah, just have to imagine this with 100 people here. Here's somebody who's got an AI bot in their booth who can answer questions. And then upstairs, we have presentations. All the exhibitors can also give presentations for 25 minutes. And we put the schedule up. It takes about 5 minutes to get comfortable navigating your way around. And then you're an expert at it. But that's the floor down there, basically.
That's super cool.
Thanks.
Wow.
No, that's neat because you mentioned an aspect of Zoom that you weren't able to get, where those kind of organic, bump into the hall conversations, and it seems like this sort of facilitates that.
Yeah, and that's what you want at a trade show, right? You're creating luck. When I used to coach people how to do these things live, we would talk about who you sit next to on the plane, or you share a cab with, or in the hallways, or an elevator. Here, it's who you're bumping into, and you can walk up to someone at a trade show and say, "Hey, so what do you do?" That's allowed at a trade show, where you might not be able to do that in the supermarket. And James is brave enough; he'll do it everywhere, and I love that about him. But at a trade show, it's allowed.
Well, so James, so you have a booth there. You're a web developer. How has your experience in this community setting, using the metaverse as a tech platform to connect people? How have you connected with people from all over the world?
That's a really good question. So basically, this metaverse is just a kind of a game changer when it comes to the networking platforms and traditional trade shows. Like, I've been to Vegas and setting up your trade show and breaking your back. And this one, you don't have to leave your office, your home office, whatever, and you can go network with a bunch of people. I know that we brought Jack Armstrong on to the metaverse for his first time this past quarter. And, I just introduced Jack to everybody, in their booth. And it's a great way to network, and you're just meeting people and seeing what they do, having a conversation, breaking down any barriers, and maybe scheduling a one-to-one meeting at a later time. Because these trade shows are not to, go in and sell anybody anything, but to go and build relationships and understand what other businesses are doing. So this platform has really propelled my business to market it in a way that I could not do at a traditional trade show. And that's why I am very honored and grateful to be a part of this metaverse.
Yeah, James is right. The objective here is to book an appointment. It's not to close a deal. And it's interesting to meet you, Jack, because I remember when James was bringing you around from booth to booth, and now we're meeting almost live,
Yeah.
And so that this is how the world evolves, and this is where networking has gone. And the advantage is that none of us had to get in a car and drive to some convention center and kill a whole day. We got to go for as long as we wanted to go and leave when we wanted and get on with our lives.
Yeah, it's a very efficient way. I had a great experience with it. It was very unique. Like, I had never thought there could be virtual spaces like this I liked how the lines kind of define the audio experience. That stood out to me. I do have a question, Chris. I don't want you to spill any secret sauce, but I have a VR headset. Could something like this could you transition, or require people? Like, would it be a better experience in your opinion if it was through a headset? Because
that was one of our 4 criteria. We don't want headsets. But with that said, you can wear a headset there. We've had people come in with headsets and the hand things and all of that. And I'm sure they have a very different experience than the rest of us. But what I wanted was a web-based metaverse.
Absolutely.
Because we want the level of entry to be very simple, that somebody who's in their 80s can handle this and not be intimidated by the technology.
Absolutely. Yeah. So in maintaining accessibility, you feel the web serves as the best platform, right? So nobody has to download anything. You don't have to require people to have headsets. Can somebody join on their phone? Have you, is there bandwidth? I know you had mentioned bandwidth before. Is it possible? I know it's probably that's secure.
So a couple of things you just brought up. So on our previous platform, exhibitors would download an app and come in that way. Guests would come in the web. It was a very unique, it was a nice platform where it was different than this. With this platform, I forget your question now. Where were we going?
No, just like, how do you make it accessible so that you're right? You don't have to have a headset, but you could use a headset. You don't have to have a computer. You could maybe join from your phone and get a limited.
Oh, you have cell phones. This is where we're going. So we request that people come in using Chrome. And the reason is that browser works very well on this platform. Could you come in with Safari? Sure. Do people? Absolutely. And you know how I know? Because their volume level is so much higher than everyone else's. If we all use the same browser, we're all on a level playing field. And then we get people who come in on Safari on their iPhone driving their car with the radio on, and we have to kick them out. So it happens every show. It may be funny to you. It's not when you're the host.
Note to self, be in front of a laptop or desktop when you're attending.
Well, it's the drawback of accessibility, right? If you make it too accessible, you have people, driving on the 405 while trying to talk to you,
We've had people walk away. We had this one guy who was subbing for somebody in a booth from London, or maybe it was Ireland 2 shows ago, and he had the TV on and he wasn't in front of it, and he walked away with the TV blaring. So
wow.
But that's one of our, so we kicked them out. That's one of our parameters, that we can get rid of people.
So in the metaverse is new to a lot of people. Obviously, you're more of a veteran. What would you say the etiquette is? Is there etiquette? I mean, obviously not having a glaring TV, but like, how do you ensure that everyone has a good experience? Obviously, good internet connection, I guess kind of you'd expect, but is there etiquette like in a space like this? Like, who should speak first? Who should, like, how do you, are you supposed to know, just kind of learn as you go? Like, what would you recommend for someone attending an event like that for the first time, like in terms of etiquette?
There are people I don't invite.
Okay.
So there's etiquette in life, there's etiquette here, and there's etiquette there. If we can't get along here without you screaming when you talk, I'm not giving you the link. I'm not inviting you. If you just want to sell at me, you're not welcome on the floor. So there is an etiquette, right? Can I keep people out? No, but can I kick them out? Yeah. But sure, there's an etiquette in life, and people do business with people they know, like, and trust. So if you want to do business, act like a human being. That's it. Don't talk over people. Don't sell through people. Just be normal.
But because everybody can hear you, right? If you join, like these people at Safari, I mean, it's so if you're next to 5 people, I don't know. Is anybody familiar with VR chat on the Meta Quest platform by any chance? Because it's a social experience with the headset, with random people near you. The closer you are to the people, the louder they are, the further away. So you can still hear them if you're in the same space. So if someone joins the on the Vogue conference, how do you? I mean, obviously just make sure your background noise is.
We'll track them down. We'll go running after them and find them and go to them. And we have a way of doing that. And just say, hey, you're screaming. Turn down your mic. What browser are you using? And they always say Safari. And be like, can you come back in using Chrome?
I see. Interesting.
Again, we've done this now. We're about to have our 28th show. Wow. So we've learned a lot of this stuff. We are somewhat of a front runner, I assume. I don't know anybody else who's had 28 shows like this. So we've learned a lot. We've made a lot of mistakes.
Live and learn. That's the goal, right? Well, super exciting. James, You've been quiet tonight.
I'm letting Chris explain the metaverse a little bit, but
Yeah.
I just feel like it saves a lot of time. It's energy efficient. It is a great way to network with people, and you don't have to rent a car and schlep all over town to get there and rent a hotel and all that. And you just have to sign up on the bus, and we have all the links and information. Our next virtual conference, Chris's next 28th International Virtual Conference, is Thursday, December 4th, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And for those of you, Sam, on the East Coast, that's 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern. So I hope that you both will be in attendance for this one.
And then we do an hour of networking afterwards on Zoom. So you can go straight from our floor up to Zoom. You can't go back because they don't play nice, but we can go from our floor. So we chase everyone up to Zoom, and then we ask and we record and ask for everybody's experience. What do you do? Who are you? Network, but tell us what you thought. Was it good for you? And that takes about an hour for the people that are left at the end to come up and do that.
Gotcha. And can you repeat the website people can register?
onthebus.biz. And if you like the site, James made it. If you don't like the site, it was my fault.
It's an amazing site and very user-friendly. And I encourage you to visit onthebus.biz. Yeah.
Yes. So AI is quite a technology. Obviously, really kind of means anything. It's just artificial intelligence, very buzzy word these days. Our show focuses a lot on AI and the new realm of tech. Is there AI, Chris and James, in terms of these events? Like, how do you incorporate AI into such an event? And are you? I mean, we have to talk about it. So,
James, you want to go first? I feel like I've dominated here. Why don't you start and I'll finish?
Well, I mean, AI, I always offer to all of my clients for their website designs or their development or even their marketing strategies, because it eliminates or summarizes a lot of code generation and assistance, the design automation, the SEO, and like we were talking about before, and content optimization, and it does a lot of the testing and debugging that traditionally we didn't have. And we had to have somebody do that manually, which took hours and hours. The analytics and the data insights are incredible and pretty much flawless. And the last time I was on the show, I did speak on how it was impacting my business as a professional and how I thought it needed to be regulated, right? But I've stepped away from that because now we have a stronger grasp on AI. But for the metaverse and for Jack's metaverse that he has going, they both are great, like greeters or informational tools or guides for people that maybe just entered the conference and they need guidance or they need another opinion. And these AI avatars are becoming, these human concierge that are part of these trade shows. So I feel like that they have really evolved and are becoming more and more human.
Awesome.
So for me, I'm a geek, right? I'm not a nerd, but I'm a geek, and I know a little bit about a lot. Like I wear the Meta glasses, I've got the eye, I'm into all this stuff, and I'm fortunate. I coach a guy who's been programming in AI for 30 years, and so he's way ahead of everyone else, and he's kind of dragged me along with him a little bit, and he's taught me. And I told our members a couple months ago, we've been talking about AI for years, but a couple months ago, I told them all before our monthly bus meetings that there's going to be two types of companies in 2 years. There's going to be companies that learned and adapted and figured out how to use AI. And there's companies that didn't and aren't around anymore. And I think for any industry, either you get with the wave or you get smashed by the tsunami. It's like you got to get with it or not. And this is it's not too late, but it's certainly not too early. So as a coach, what we've done, and again, I coach differently than most. I don't believe one-to-one coaching works for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are too good at manipulating coaches, and they're going to do what they want to do. So we've always used mastermind groups since 2008. But now, if you're in a group of 8, like James was in a meeting this morning, and there were 7 of us plus an AI bot. And in the AI bot, we've uploaded my books and other information, and it has an entrepreneurial feel to it. And so once we've gone around the room and gotten feedback from 7 humans, we then ask the same question of the bot. And sometimes it's very basic, but a lot of times many of us leave the basics and we forget. And so it's refreshing to hear. But other times it's innovative as can be. And it's
so not knowing, very exciting. So not knowing the context of the meeting or the group, are you using the AI more to summarize all 7 perspectives?
Not at all. It doesn't. I won't let it listen. It's not
okay.
Because we have, everybody sign NDAs, but we will ask questions, and I won't refer to whose question it is. I'm the one asking the question for the member. Because I don't know the security well enough with AI. I don't know where the top is. I don't know if they talk to other AIs at some point, and I don't want that risk for my members. So I'm not going to say that James from Vogue Website and Design asked this question. I'll say, so a web designer, how could they use AI better? And I'll give an answer or whatever it might be. But it's used the books, it's used the entrepreneurial information we put in, and it gives an entrepreneurial answer.
Well, that's an interesting concept that you're kind of using that as a proxy to kind of remove at least the creators and their idea from immediately being trained on. And I think it's a very valid concern that you mentioned. It's just your data privacy. A lot of these end user license agreements, your conversations are stored essentially forever for any purpose. And if you have a novel idea, it becomes the next training data for it to spit out to somebody else who asked it a similar question. I mean, it's a very valid concern.
I'll tell you where that thought came from, because I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but my vision with the metaverse was we were going to be able to attach to other metaverses. And there would be portals, and we could all be interlocked somehow. I have a feeling AI is going to turn out like that these bots are going to interlock with each other and communicate, and there goes our data. So it's my responsibility, being the gatekeeper of the people I coach, to protect them as well as I can. It doesn't mean I'll be successful, but I'm at least going to try my best.
But that's such a smart approach, Chris, that you protect people's information like that and ask the AI bots, direct questions, but leave out the personal information so that they're not behind the scenes connecting the dots, right?
Right.
They're not elaborating or communicating behind the scenes about our personal information. So
the thumb doesn't always need to know what the pinky's doing.
Right.
Right. And that's one of those situations. They don't need the full information.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about that, Jack?
Yeah, it's fascinating. I feel like privacy, we talk about a lot with, AI especially. I feel like there's ways to use AI in terms of, I have my daily experience today with AI. It was not good or bad, but I see AI, still hallucinating, not always being perfect. But I wonder if there's ways to utilize it without, like, for example, 300 people could come to a show, 200 people could come to a show. I participated in something recently where they're actually matching people at events for business purposes where they have an AI screening process. And I was just spouting off information actually recently, not even thinking about this. So is it concerning? Yeah, I feel like more people should be thinking about it, but like, kind of back to your point, Chris, about there are going to be winning companies and losing companies. Like, is it just a sacrifice you kind of have to make? And I don't mean in terms of giving all, I think it's great how you respect the members' privacy. And I think, you're conscious about that. But because nobody really knows, are all these AIs going to interlock? Like, I think that's a fascinating, like, topic. But
so today's AI, just so you know, have IQs of 200.
Yeah.
Next year, they're going to come out with IQs of 10,000. What's that going to do? That's a game changer. We've lost control then. We're talking about elections, right? Are AI going to run for office in the future? Who knows?
Right. Yeah.
And then we have Sam on the call as well, who is a cybersecurity specialist working out of Washington. What is your take on all this, Sam?
No, and it's actually, so I just wrapped up a course by Blue Dot Impact. So they're a UK nonprofit organization kind of working with AI safety. And something that Chris mentioned is actually a very prevalent theory in AI research called gradual disempowerment. So it's over time, AI learns to read our regulations and learns to how our systems operate. And soon it begins suggesting improvements. Over time, we just start accepting these improvements. And soon the AI improves to a point where it's essentially running, the system itself. It is the guy, through sympathetic humans who support the cause, or just by itself is actually the mastermind behind the policy or governance. And so as a human race, we are disempowered, because at the end of the day, who's to say the AI even cares what we want? Fundamentally, our differences in our interests could become divergent. So it's actually a really prevalent theory, to sort of say, yeah, as capability grows, sadly, the importance of human interests decreases. So it's something to look into more as an area of research. Not the most optimistic view, right? But there are ways to mitigate, and we're doing research, at least in the AI safety space, to try and mitigate these changes. Because again, as Chris said, we're at the beginning of an exponential curve as far as capability and general intelligence. And it's the only certainty is that we have really no clue, from a technical perspective, how these systems operate, but then also, are we ready for a system that's, again, like 10, 100, 1,000 times as capable? And it's a real problem moving forward.
Or a real solution. It's a game changer no matter how you look at it.
Exactly. There's great cons.
There's been certain times in our lives. The guy who came up with the idea, and I think it was for Kentucky Fried Chicken originally, it might have been Burger King, but the first company to have the drive-through window, everyone scoffed, right?
Yeah.
Well, who's going to drive up to a window to get your food, right? Or the internet. That same guy who said trade shows sucked, he was also the guy that said, the internet, it's never going to happen.
Bad.
But you got those people that are saying AI right now. It's going to go away. It's just a phase. It's not going away.
Well, I think it's pretty scary if you've seen not only Tesla, but there's like the Figure AI robotics company. You're literally giving artificial intelligence now a working, like, capable body of putting groceries away, doing tasks for you. Like, it's like, it's borderline, whoa, where could this go? And probably,
which is amazing for the person who's in a wheelchair, right? But what about when we now have them as security guards, or when the bad guys start having them as bank robbers, or whatever it might be?
Yeah.
Who knows where this goes?
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's fascinating.
Oh yeah. Sam?
No, exactly. I mean, it's a force multiplier, right? And as it becomes more accessible, the 0.1% of people who think maliciously have access to something that greatly increases their power. And then, the 0.01% of people who will actually act upon, their malicious thoughts also suddenly gains, access to this incredible, and that's how I like to think about it. It's a force multiplier, at least for now. It doesn't have its own, you know, sentient, vehicle at this point that we know of, but it's more or less a productivity multiplier if it's used. It's a tool. It's a very powerful tool. But
But there's
we
no
kind of,
ceiling.
yeah, we risk flying too close to the sun in a lot of ways. If we don't know what we're developing and we just keep pushing forward without a real conversation about the risks. I mean, there are great benefits to it too. I mean, there's,
Sure.
but it's a huge area of interest for me personally. Is just AI safety and preparing for quite honestly the exponential increase. I mean, ChatGPT is not even 3 years old yet. And people used to laugh because, oh, it thinks 9.11 is greater than, that stupid math equation where it's like 9.1 is greater than 9.11 for some reason. There's some flaw in the transformer somewhere, and it's like, oh, it can't do math. And now it's doing calculus, better than a PhD student. And it's like, okay, like that kind of flaw. I've noticed that thinking a lot, at least in the people I talk to, where they kind of discount it because there's these high profile fumbles. And that was a year or 2 years ago. I mean, that might
Yeah,
as well
that's
be
forever.
eons ago as far as the AI development life cycle. So
Yeah,
definitely
and now
one,
AI is teaching AI, right? On their own.
yeah, they're just learning from each other and monitoring each other, and who knows what they're really thinking, and how can we open the hood and actually evaluate that effectively is that's a huge area of research right now, is agents monitoring each other, trying to, I mean, it's a prisoner's dilemma. If you're into logic puzzles, do I rat on my fellow prisoner to the human, or do we both collude and live to see another day? Um, it's super
Yeah.
interesting. Definitely AI safety research. Recommend Blue Dot Impact, not an endorsement in any way, but they're just a nonprofit. They have plenty of free courses. I'm just out of the, they do a 1 week, 30-hour intensive training on AGI safety and strategy. Like, this is coming. What should we do about it?
Oh, it's
And
here.
so,
It's not coming. It's here.
yeah, I mean, it's probably too late, but I think, they have to keep it a little optimistic, right? To get people to buy in, but
Well, so are the best models going to be priced? Are they going to price out your average person? I mean, or is it going to become so readily available that open source is still maybe
I think
viable as a
it's going to
competitive
be free because they want your data.
I see. Okay.
Your currency is your data, right? It's our trade shows are free to attend because they're the product. We want traffic.
Yeah.
So it's free, right? Because that's what people buy booths for, is the traffic. So it's going to be similar, I suspect, that the currency is your data.
Well, I think
Interesting.
it'll be free in the beginning, which it is, and now it's starting to be monetized, right? So that they can capitalize on this data and information and how it's stored and how it's regulated and who's got, 4.0 and who's got 9.0 and who's smarter or whose IQ is faster. So in the beginning, just like anything else, it's free trial, free to grab all your data, all of your information, and then after they've reached a certain point, then they monetize it.
So what do we think about paid AI models or premium versions? Like, is it, I mean, yes, I understand they're the newest, more capable, more advanced. Yes, there's certain use cases coding wise and stuff, maybe why you would want to pay, but eventually everything's going to kind of be at the same level, right?
And then they'll race to the bottom.
Yeah.
Yes, it'll
because they
become
want your data. Yeah. Interesting. So if you're paying for an AI subscription now, theoretically in the future, you probably won't be, because they'll want fresh data. You'll be the product. Yeah.
I think so.
And there'll be so many models and so many companies that want that data that, yeah, it's free. Wow. This is interesting. Yeah, we never thought about, well, yeah, fascinating.
We kind of left the metaverse and went in a different direction. But that's what happens when you put people together.
Right. Yeah. Well, so AI is making web development easier, James, I could imagine. But how is it affecting search engines? Because more people are using ChatGPT now to find websites. So are you seeing changes there? And how are you keeping your clients ahead of the curve?
Well, and again, like I was mentioning earlier about SEO and content optimization, AI is so powerful with suggesting keywords and improving meta tags for websites, generating SEO friendly, content automatically. In my professional world with web development and design, it supersedes any other creativity that someone could come up with originally. And you can tell when you look at a website or an ad or anything within marketing what what looks AI enhanced and what doesn't. But I think it's now becoming more normalized that you can't have a cartoon avatar looking person posing as a real person, and that's I've seen with AI and what it can do. But I mean, it saves me a lot of time because I have a degree in graphic design and multimedia and business, so I had to learn HTML coding, and that's a whole nother language, right? But with AI, you can put that together in 20 minutes, and there you have functional website. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess I would say not to be, pessimistic, but if everybody theoretically has the capability to use AI, does that kind of like just make everything the same? And obviously every company's different, everybody has different goals, but like how do you stand out when everything is now easier to do because of AI in various ways, whether it's content creation or, I mean, I think SEO is to me what seems to be the most fascinating, because people are no longer using Google search as much. I mean, yes, okay, Gemini and ChatGPT, but people are asking AI for ideas and recommendations, maybe now more often than they used to Google things. So
well,
is that affecting like traffic to the websites or
well,
is
when it comes to content creation, now they're getting smarter. Like when you took a college course and you wrote a paper, you had to do MLA citation or some of the other ones. And now with AI, they're mandating that you disclose where you got this content and how much a part of it was AI. I mean, even on Instagram or Facebook or social media, you now have to identify, is this been AI enhanced? And if you don't answer correctly, they will figure it out and shut you down. Yeah. So, I mean, that's also something to think about when we think about AI. And you can't just write a book and say, yeah, I did this all myself. No, there's software in place that does regulate copyright and infringement and plagiarism. So, I mean, AI is smart about helping regulate that part of it, but it can go so much further. And I don't think people are going to be able to outsmart AI and say, "Oh, I got around it, and this is the book that I actually wrote." No, Chris has books that he's written, and he could clearly pass through any AI regulations or tests because that's his real data. That's his real mindset. Those are his real experiences.
It's only because I have a lot of typos, though.
That too.
But, you know, Sam, you're in Washington, right? So what about the patent office? So now we're going to have AI bots created patent application. So it's AI against AI, and that's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Well, and that's a good point in terms of the broader, you know, in terms of copyright too. I mean, it's a matter, you know, is AI an entity which can create something? You know, is this
Somebody
something?
starts it, right? Somebody should get credit, even if they use AI.
You know, is it the developer? Is it the person who prompts the AI? Is it the AI company? You know, if OpenAI had it their way, they would be responsible for any output. You know, it's like, oh yeah, our AI, you know, patented this, even though a user provided an original idea. Because in the user license agreement, I mean, they'll totally claim it was, you know, in page 648, you know, where you gave up your right to any creation that you've ever, you know, created with, you know. So I think that that'll be the biggest policy issue, or, you know, policy related, you know, how are we going to determine the ownership of AI generated works? Because yeah, I mean, we're close to them having novel ideas which can be patented. I mean, I don't honestly, I'm gonna really kind of dig into that and see, you know, have there been, you know, any AI generated patent applications so far?
100%.
And, oh, how do you
100%.
fix that?
Well, the patent office has a lot of problems. I've written about it in one of my books. It's taking 5 years now for patents to issue. And I think they have 8,000 examiners and they get 17,000 applications a day. They can't catch up. AI could be a game changer in helping them with that.
But is it because it's making it? Is it because AI and new tech has made it easier to file these applications, or because ideas are AI, you know, that started with AI as an idea are now being passed along as like original ideas?
I don't know if they start with the ideas, but I'm sure that lawyers and I'm sure that inventors are using AI to help describe their steps. Yeah, I don't know that. And I don't know if there's anything wrong with that either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's certainly not black and white as far as, you know, it's, you know, if you use it to summarize your thoughts or rephrase them or even check them for typos, you know.
Or translate it into a different language.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you're filing for international patents.
Wow. Yeah, I have a friend at USC doing research, and her professors encourage them to use AI in research and in, you know, summarizing things, writing things. It's, you know, as an assistant, I guess, you know, research assistant tool. But again, like, speaking of, you know, all the dangers of AI, it's something else to be worried about and cautious of.
But it's brilliant, right? Yeah, I give that teacher a lot of credit. When we all went to school, they told us we couldn't use calculators, right? When my kids went to school, they were told they were allowed to use Google. And they should be like, we need to teach people how to use the technology, not to shun them for using it, encourage it. I promise you that's what they do in these other countries where their education is so much higher than ours.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it depends, but you're right. Like, you also need to educate the new generation on the dangers and the potential of tech like AI. And also, yeah, if you want them to be part of building a safer future surrounding this technology, like, yeah, they need experience with it. But I don't know, it might be helping us lose our brains also.
Well, didn't smartphones do that?
Yeah, that's true.
And how many phone numbers do you actually know? I don't know any. I don't know my kids' numbers.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a button.
Yeah. You just click call,
Well, we respect you guys' time. We want to end right now, I think, unless there's any final thoughts. We really appreciate you both for joining us tonight for this special episode. Always fascinating conversations around tech. And Chris, super exciting to hear what you're doing in the metaverse with these events and how you're bringing people together. So thanks for coming on and talking about it.
Thank you. And thank you for the intelligent conversation. I really enjoyed it. This was fun.
Yes, thank you, Jack and Sam, for having us on the show tonight.
And I do want to mention it. I totally enjoyed, kind of those tangents that we went off, as far, safety and data and, the research component and how, even intellectual property. I mean, it's all connected somehow. And I loved exploring that with you guys.
Yeah,
well, thanks to everyone for listening. You know where to find us, techtalklive.xyz, and anywhere you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Until next week.